All right, guys. I don't know what I've done. Apparently I ordered the wrong heart. Look at this thing. It's as big as my head. I usually order pig hearts. I guess I ordered a cow heart accidentally. This thing's massive. I'm freaking out a little bit, but that's right. It's kind of cool. So you can see that there's a little bit of fat around it. That doesn't mean it's an unhealthy heart. Fat is somewhat of a protector of things. You wouldn't want it to be overly fat. You see these little lines kind of traveling along the heart? Those are the coronary arteries, okay? So those are the arteries that branch off of the aorta. Look at that massive thing. That's the aorta. You can't really see where they branch off, but those are the small little blood vessels then that feed the heart muscle itself, okay? You can see a whole bunch of different blood vessels up here. And I can't really identify all of them until I kind of see where the probe takes me, okay? I do know that this one is the vena cava, okay? This would be the superior vena cava, the top part, and then the inferior would come down here. This aorta then would branch off and go around the back, and then there would be those three blood vessels that come off of the aortic arch on the top, but those have all been trimmed away. There's some other little ones. These are probably the pulmonary blood vessels, kind of coming off to the sides a little bit. The pulmonary artery would be the one that goes to the lungs. The pulmonary veins would be the ones that come back, okay? So I pre-opened this because it took a little doing. Oh, this is the inside of the heart, okay? So, first thing that I want you to notice is how thick the muscle is. This is all muscle, okay? That's called the septum. That separates the left side from the right side, okay? This, over here on this side, that little opening where my finger is, that chamber, that's the right ventricle, okay? So that's gonna pump to the lungs, okay? This big one over here, and look at how thick the muscle is. This is the left ventricle, okay? The left ventricle pumps to the body. So the reason the muscle is so much thicker on the left side is because it has farther to pump. You've got to get the blood from this chamber all the way up to your top of your head, all the way down to your toes, and so this side has to squeeze harder, okay? This side, and I know it looks thick right there, it's just the way I cut it, but really you can see how thin the muscle is on that side, because it only has to pump to the lungs, which are right next door, okay? Let's see. So here's the aorta. Let's see if I can get through here. Here we go. All right, can you see the probe? Okay, so again, that's setting into the left ventricle because that will the blood will leave the left ventricle through the aorta. Okay, these see these little flaps? That is a valve. Okay, so that would close, and that would be the separation between the left atrium, which is on top, and then into the left ventricle, which we're at down here. Now these little strings that attach the valves to the heart itself are incredibly strong. I want to see if you can hear this. Okay, listen. Can you see how strong those are? Those are tendons, okay? They're called chordae tendineae. You don't need to know that. And there's a whole bunch of them that attach the valve to the heart muscle itself. This is the, let's see, left, right. So this is the bicuspid valve, or the mitral valve. On the right side, and you can't really see it, because I kind of cut through it, I think. You can see a little bit of the valve up in there. That's called the tricuspid valve, and there's 3 flaps of tissue on that side. There's also a valve, I don't know if I can get to it. There's also a valve in the blood vessels, but I don't think I can get to those. This is really cumbersome, really hard to deal with. But this valve, if I did have a pig heart, you would see the heart closer in size to a human heart. These valves can actually be replaced in a human heart. And oftentimes they'll use a valve from a pig, believe it or not, because they're about the same size, and we're all mammals, and so it's very similar. Let's see what else I can show you on this. Let's see. I think I'll go out the vena cava, maybe? No. Where did vena cava go? There we go. Okay. So, see where the probe's poking out? Okay. Vena cava, remember, that brings the deoxygenated blood back to the body. It goes first into the right atrium, which is that really dark cavity up there. I can't get up in there. Okay, and then it goes through a valve, and then it'll dump into the right ventricle, which is down in that area right there. Okay, and really, that's all I want to show you guys with this heart. I'm going to keep this. I'm going to hopefully put it in a nice tight Ziploc bag so that when we get back to school, you guys will be able to see this yourself. Okay, see you later.